premise is basically when a bad day becomes a bad week and becomes a bad month. Sometimes I look at the clock and wonder how much time I have left. Before the end of the day, before the next one, before the next crisis, before I'm gone. Once upon a time I had the biggest dreams, and I left it in the hands of fate. A few years, defeats, and wrong turns later, those dreams are further away. So I've learned that simple things are safe, realistic goals, and I live a simple life to counteract a complicated soul. Fears and insecurities keep me from reaching for more. I used to ignore the itch that drove me to explore, but now I'm starting to scratch, even though I'm overmatched. Even when I make it harder than it has to be, even when I'm my own worst enemy, even though I'm overmatched, I'm starting to scratch. I'm always talking about how the pen loves pain. The words may be different, but the writer's the same. Creative may be, but everything seems to end up sad. And I wonder nervously if my destiny is to one day go mad. Because I'm a little concerned about my well-organized mess. These persistent ghosts have found my new address. I'm haunted by choices and decisions left behind me. I disappear publicly and speak only through poetry. Trapped by the past, right here and now, it is what it is, but I deal somehow. I get ready for the worst and rely on blind hopes. It's not the surest way, but that's how I cope. I don't spend much time at the bar. I don't get high, but I get far. While shadows force an open mind shut, a full-time dreamer who's had his hours cut. I have the hardest time asking for assistance, so I won't. You have to leave me alone because I need to do this on my own. Out of sight, out of mind, biggest dreams left behind, but no one left to blame, a legend in his spare time. Is it pride when you don't ask for help or are too ashamed to accept it? Is it pathetic to know your logic is flawed while you're still trying to protect it? Looking down and feeling like I'm losing a competition with everyone else, when in reality the best of me is losing a competition with myself. I want to do so much, but I find I'm standing still, and the stubborn lack of progress moves slower than my stubborn will. Immobility sustained, but patiently waiting to be saved. One brave night or two can't excuse a lifetime of being afraid. I want to give myself to you, but I'm afraid you won't accept me. Or if you do follow through, you'll follow suit and neglect me. The story of my life, I give you a fish, you give me the bones. Been walking the same streets for 10 years looking for my next home. It's another week wondering where my next kiss will come from, wanting to help others, but being so hard on myself doesn't help anyone. It's the back and forth, give and take of the battle within. The struggle calls me out right after it hardens me again, and I do everything a subdued mind can find permissible. Being there some of the time is sure better than always feeling invisible. I don't think I know how to thrive because all I've learned is how to survive. I need something I can't find, running from the future while running out of time. I don't have many vices, but I love the ones I do. Food, dreams, too much of each it seems. Before I'm through telling you there's a new ending to create, perhaps I'm telling me there's no point in being fake. Life is too short to hate. Setbacks in my journeys make me feel like it's almost too late. Maybe it's a burden too big to digest. I want to give up, but I'm too hopeful to be hopeless. Continuing forward, weary and beaten down by the things I do wrong. Despite the gravity, when I look up, I can barely see that I'm still holding on. Thank you.
I sell records. I sell vintage vinyl records, and I talk with music with a lot of people. And somebody the other day was like, "Oh, you're into music? That's cool." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm really into music too." I said, "Cool. Who do you like?" He's like, Nickelback and Disturbed, and 3 Doors Down. I was like, "Oh, okay, so you're not into music." He said, "No, trust me, music is my life." I'm like, "Oh, you must have a really shitty life."
This is about a trip across the country with some buddies. The aftermath of the intensity, exploratory traveling across the country, the mind awakes as the scene sets in. Suddenly the world is not the same as it's been all my life. This new era begins, searching for an element of happiness within, but it's lost at the cost of assimilating sights, summoned by the nature as it dominates my eyes, and now I see what's been there all along. Digesting my analysis, I turn it to a song like this.
One phrase I can never take back, it's true. I can't prove that it's true, but I know it is. I love life and music. See, there's no faking, hating, discriminating, just living life, believing I just created a new song. So I'm making my own sound. Now do my dreams dream like I do, wanting to rise past the path of life like I do. Do they bleed, suffer, dying, accused? Is it true? Or is it just me? Is it just me? Am I just dreaming? Is it just me? Is it more than what it seems? Is it just me? Are we trapped inside a scheme? Is it no, nah, it can't be just me. So let's take a change and make it a new song. Daily changes making my new song. Random rhythms of patrols and a reason. I'm living life and I'm hoping for new season. So I take a change and I'm making it new. Yeah, daily changes making it new. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just singing it. Now I want to rise past the sky. I want to fall much further than this earth. I want to touch you. I'll never feel in your skin. I want to change. Yeah, revolution. I want to walk my life. I'm gonna tell you guys a poem. This poem is titled Word. I wrote this piece, and I'm happy to see that this room is not separated by races or social standing. And when I perform at schools, oftentimes I see like a section of black people over here, and then whites, and then Puerto Ricans. And then people are also like, well, I'm gay, I'm gonna sit over here, and you're not gay, so you're gonna sit over here. And I got sick of that, you know, it's like a rainbow throughout this room, so I wrote this piece called Separation. I had a vision that I walked into a room, only to view a secluded section of blacks sitting with blacks. And I point them out, I say, yes, a section just like that. Disturbed by these implications, I wanted to walk away, but my head was snapped back to view a section of homosexuals and a section of all whites. I saw a section of Puerto Ricans and one of Asians alike, angered. I then approached the hostess and I asked, why is this? She said, my friend, don't you know that we've all personally chosen this? She said, haven't you been to sectioning school? I was like, sectioning 101? She was like, no, like sectioning 402. See, everyone in this room is capable of sectioning you. She then sized me up. She said, let's see, 5'7" and black with dreads. She directed me to my section. I inquired her of another and said, but ma'am, the seat's over there. She said, hold the fuck up. The blacks sit here. Don't ask questions, just do what you're told. If you learn this lesson, you'll soon be sectioning the young and the old. See, the sectioning system is a system of old, and we'll follow it blindly, like some chose to follow the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, I wanted to awaken from this vision I was given, and I quickly realized that this was no vision, it was merely our existence. And as I survey these rooms, I find the sectioning system applied to our churches and schools. Our don'ts and our do's, even the Christians and Jews will use this sectioning tool. Now, don't consider me fool if I simply refuse. I see that we don't need to follow the crowd to save face. Proudly rock a new sound that'll hopefully set pace, because the system created will set a sectioning rate. And believe me, we will pay. We will pay at a constant rate, constantly separating you from me, her from him, Democrats from Republicans, and women from men. We separate students from teachers and pupils from preachers. Now, we thought that this racial discrimination that was written upon our hearts would change with generations, but somehow we're still judging faces. Thank you.
This one's called Blinding Reflections, Coordinating with Morning Sensitivity. My trembling eyes slowly equip my sensory perception. This world is fast. Go anywhere, anytime, cheap. It's the repercussions that follow that dictate the balancing worth. Love in a prison glass, reflecting in intervals. My brain takes me away to places I don't want to be. I'm a radical creator, a powerful heart, a bridge between my dreams and reality. He emitted a diapason of sound.
I see a few hats and shirts Sabres fans in here. A few, maybe a couple. One Sabres fan. I'm kind of excited for the new season. I know there might be a lockout, a lot of garbage. That's balls. But I'm still excited about it. Me and my fiancée are talking about it. She said the other day, I can't wait to go downtown to the Marine Midland Arena. Like, really? Is that what you're going to call it? Maybe on the way home we could stop at Hills. For a 3-liter of Surge. Surge was great. I watched a lot of the Olympics. I don't know if anybody watched the Olympics. The Olympics was great. China came in second with the medals. They didn't win very many track and field medals, but at least at the end of the day, they could say that they made everyone's shoes. Everyone's shoes. I was making fun of my brother the other day. He's wearing what I thought was a Lady Gaga t-shirt. And he said, no, Phil, it's actually a Nicki Minaj t-shirt. I said, it's kind of like somebody coming up to you and saying, hey, dude, you got chocolate on your face. And you'd be like, no, it's actually shit. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have an awesome night.
This one's about moss.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be the moss to your rock when moisture hits the shady gleam, the happiness and comfort that you find in a dream, the roots to your tree when the wind starts blowing, the mast to your sail in the riverbed floating downstream, your whistle blowing off steam. It's a strange interaction when I feel your pain. When all hope's lost and you're feeling insane, I lift off the burden till I ease your brain, 'cause we're the same. Refrain. I'll be the feather to your wings when it's time to take flight, the glimmer of hope there when you've lost your sight, the synapse to surpass your depression at its worst. Lost in the desert, I will quench your thirst, your anti-curse, your lifeline's chain, the magic eraser when your shirt gets stained. When fears keep you running, I will stay to fight, the dividend dividing all your days and nights. I'll be your light. That's right. This one doesn't really have a name. It's called Preliminary Impressions. Preliminary impressions, ritualistic tendencies, internalized expression, origins of thoughts that precede the action, stimuli, brain synapse to collapse the concrete wall, projected, built of fear but housing our expectations, dissecting, restraints that hold us back from our true potential, perplexing, the coherence of behavior when emotional kinks are caught, piercing fears with the dagger of optimism.
The plan is the body. There is each moment a pattern. There is each time something for everyone. The plan is the body. The mind is in the head. It's a moment in time, an instant, second. The rhythm of one, and one, and one, and one. The two, the three. The plan is in the body. Hold it an instant. In the mind, hold it. What was said, you said. The two, the three times in the body. Hands, feet. You remember. I remember. I speak it. Speak it. The plan is the body. Times you didn't want to. Times you can't think you want to. You. Me. Me. Remember. Me. Here. Me wants to. Me and thinking of you. The plan is the body.
I said, one freestyle for your mind. They call me Michael, aka Adolf, Michael Kelso. Hit me up on Facebook. I add you as a friend, it's nothing. I said, in this crazy world, niggas gotta play their part. When it's beef, I'm in front like Rosa Parks. Closed eyes can't see the future cause I'm scared of the dark. Gotta circle the block twice now before I park. Dark clouds surround my heart, I'm dealing with money now. Time is money, got my eyes on the clock. My peripheral vision's on. He's a real Stouts P fan cause he'll be ghosts whenever my heat is sparked. See snakes trying to invade, so I wrap the black bandana around the hammer. Then I circle the cage, protecting my yard. Shots flare off and send his ass close to the guard. Walk with wild animals, yeah, ferocious scar. Concrete floor, every verse is hard. Some true outlaws that's still at large. Who dumb enough to arm wrestle with strong arms? Truthfully, one phone call, get your all gone. I do a John Travolta style until your face off. The wrong move and get your arms, legs, chest, face gone. I keep my circle tight like a huddle in the playoffs. The black Adolf, sharper than the razor. Head nigga in charge. Eat beef like half human, half shizar. It's a lot of niggas that drop dimes, dog, and talk a lot. That's when you pop the trunk, get the pump, and spray the parking lot. Haters and spectators wishing I rock, but they bitches the pitch they squat. Plus they dumb, they pitch the cops. You know how G's do it. Clear the sideline and watch. I got an everlasting fever. I know I'm hot. When I see the competition, man, I know my spot. On top, I can't stop. Scratch off niggas off of my pad. Then take names. No hesitation, man. In my aim, I spit flames. Your arms too short, chain in my range. I'm surrounded by lames that's trying to switch the game. There's no killing in your veins. You're like a vegetarian, homie. You can barely take criticism or pain. But they claim they move cane. They some Medusa ass niggas. They some snake ass niggas. They some wing ass niggas. I ain't never ever scared that put that thing on niggas. Smoking on trees and drunk off malt liquor. I'm chilling in a new Ford pickup. I'm flooded with hiccups. I'm bagging more bitch cars than 52 pickup. It's a sicker cell flow, dog. Your style I nigga, but mine's is more sick. I live a 3D life. Adolf, one time for your mind, 716 regime.